If everyone could just shut their eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Ground yourself in your chair. Be here now. And open your eyes. And I welcome you. My name is Wendy Gilbert. I've been researching the kindness space for 3.5 years now, and what I know for sure is we live in a really kind world, and I have the data to prove it. In this talk, I'm going to be sharing some of the overwhelming positive data that informs us that this world is a whole lot kinder than we think it is, and far kinder than our media would have us believe. I will also be talking about the ribbons that you received, so you're going to get a sneak peek into what our youth think about kindness. And then lastly, I'm going to be unveiling the details of our 2018 nationwide inaugural Kindness Symposium. So first, let's talk about the data. Paul Hawken, who's a leading environmentalist, talked about at the beginning of the environmental and the sustainable movement. After he spoke, people would come up and they would give him their business cards. And he actually didn't know what to do with them, so he kind of just put them in a drawer. But at some point, the drawer started overflowing, so he put them in a bag. And what he realized is there's an army of people, each doing their small part to improve the world. And yet, few of them knew that the others existed. So he said, if we don't know they exist, we can be deceived into believing that the necessary work isn't getting done. And so it is with kindness. But what I'm here today to tell you is a lot of work is getting done. I've had 5 interns over the last 2 years helping me input the data with keywords and search terms. And I've identified 70 organizations in the United States whose sole mission is to bring more kindness to the world. Think Kindness, Kindness Matter, Random Acts of Kindness, Fluent Kindness, 1 Million Acts of Kindness. You get the picture. So at the top of my data, we have these 70 leaders. And let me tell you a little bit about a few of them. Mayor Tom Tate is the mayor of Anaheim, and he ran his platform on kindness. And the first thing he did was a kindness initiative where he rallied 1 million of his students to fulfill an act of kindness. Lady Gaga and her mom, Cynthia, they started a nonprofit called Born This Way. And the pillars of their nonprofit are bravery and kindness. And this past Christmas, they set up a pop-up booth at 30 Rockefeller Plaza in New York to rally 1 million people to do an act of kindness. Let's see who else. Alex and Dalton of Explore Kindness. These guys are so awesome. In their dorm room at Purdue in 2012, they created their nonprofit, and they have driven their RV 35,000 miles across the United States, performing hundreds and hundreds of acts of kindness and inspiring millions of acts of kindness along the way. And then there's the Random Acts of Kindness Foundation. Now, I am shocked to know that there's only 4 staff that run Random Acts of Kindness Foundation. They have over 1 million Facebook likes, and they are incredibly awesome. And I have the honor today, because Brooke Jones is here, and she's the vice president of Random Acts of Kindness, and she's come in from Denver, and I asked her if she might say a few words about their organization. So Brooke, if you would.
I feel terrible that I'm taking Wendy's time, so I'm doing really quick. But it was very sweet. Thank you for asking me. Wendy is, I just met her, about 6-8 months ago. And I have to tell you, this woman radiates kindness. She's amazing. She actually inspires me, and as she said, we have a lot of folks that we work with that are amazing. So Random Acts of Kindness Foundation, we are out of Denver, but we're international. We have a curriculum that we offer to schools, K through 12. Social emotional learning curriculum. It's free of charge. It's evidence-based. We did most of our research in Canada, in Vancouver. But everything is online, available to folks, parents, schools, teachers, anybody to use it. And soon, as I was talking to Wendy about earlier, we're moving into this realm of bringing kindness into the workplace and trying to create a culture of kindness in the workplace. And so I'm here actually learning from all these folks that are doing that kind of work. But what we're also trying to do at the same time is meet parents where they are, which is generally in the workplace. And instead of having a parenting program and a workplace program, we want to bring the two together and help parents bring this home. As their kids are learning it in the classroom, we want to help them learn it at work and speak the same language at home. So,
Nice.
thank you for letting me say something.
Okay, so you have an idea of the top line. I've mentioned just 4 of the organizations. There's a guy, Bob. He's been going around the country on his kindness bus for 8 years. There's Orly Waba from Life Vest Inside, who's on her 5th year of doing Dance for Kindness on World Kindness Day, which is November 14th, with over 50 countries participating and 15,000 people participating. So now I've mentioned 6 out of the 70. So that's the top level. The next level is ambassadors. So Random Acts of Kindness, I'm a Ractivist, which is a Random Act of Kindness ambassador. They have 800 ambassadors. All these other places, many of them have ambassador programs. So now we're talking about people that want to make kindness part of their daily life, but they need support, and they need inspiration, and they need tools. So there's a closed Facebook group where people can inspire each other and talk about what's going on. And then you think about those and how many people they are impacting. And then I'm in the bowels of the kindness movement. I have collected over 5,000 stories of everyday people doing kind things. So I just wanted to mention a few of them. 8-year-old Alex McKelvey of Lakewood, Washington, she wanted to honor her grandma who died at age 60, so she decided to do 60 acts of kindness in honor of her. But there's no stopping her now, she's on her 600th. And 3rd grade Caden, he actually recently saw a kid in lunch have to return his tray because he didn't have the money for it. And so he started to do fundraisers and recycle bottles. And up to date, he has paid for over 230 lunches. So there's so much kindness, but we don't talk about it like, wow, we live in a really kind world. And with the nation in the state that it's in, it's understandable. So now let's talk about bringing more kindness in the world. I've been participating in Make a Difference Day since 2002. And Make a Difference Day at its height was one of the largest volunteer days in the nation. It's in its 26th year, and at its height, 3 million people participated. So the first thing when we moved from San Francisco to Marin is I started bringing kindness and service projects into my kids' school. And the first thing I did was get the whole middle school on board. So that was 21 classes doing a service project on Make a Difference Day, which involved over 500 kids and students, impacting hundreds and hundreds of kids and people. My most recent one, and the one that this is about, is I rallied every school in our school district to pledge to do an act of kindness on Make a Difference Day, which means 3,324 kids added to the kindness on that day. And what we did is we stapled them to ribbons, we had a parade down our main street, and we decorated our local park. And as people walked through, what it felt like to me was a walking museum, like a little snapshot of what our youth think about kindness. Some of my favorites, and then I'm going to ask you, for those of you who did get ribbons, if you could look at them, and if there's one or two that inspire you or that are funny. Let's see. I am making a difference by staying in my seat when I'm supposed to, so the class will go faster. Sitting near a lonely kid and loaning a pencil. Not pissing my parents off. There was one, I'll feed my cat Ollie a little more food because she's on a diet and she's very sad. And then there's some that are really impactful, like I'm going to stand up for those who cannot, or I will call my father finally. So if there's anyone that has a ribbon, you can just raise their hand if they'd like to speak out one out loud. Yes?
I actually have 2. Pick flowers for my mom.
Nice.
And then also just because I really like pie, make a pie.
Anyone else?
Bringing socks for the homeless people.
Yeah.
Planting lots of trees so we can breathe more. Feeding animals so they can live.
Anyone else?
Yeah. Cleaning a wasteland, AKA my money.
Yes.
This one says giving more hugs to Jake, and then that's crossed off, and then it says everyone.
Okay. So, you know, the schools are one place where it seems really obvious, like let's put in service learning, let's put in kindness curriculums. Out of the 70 organizations, 20% of them have free downloadable curriculums online. So this is something that is actually really doable. And I don't think it takes that much. I mean, on a level of like, let's put in initiatives and, that's a little harder to do, but on a local level, it really takes a parent going into a principal's office to say, I'd like to do this curriculum. And it doesn't have to be even a curriculum, it could just be a project. So with our kids, it's really starting to happen. So we've talked about the voices of our youth, and now I'd like to widen it a little bit to include the adults. So if you wouldn't mind just turning to someone next to you and just thinking for a moment about what was the last kind thing that someone did for you. Feeling that happens when you hear about these kids' acts of kindness or when you share kindness? Is there anything physically embodied? Is there anything that happens for you?
Oh yeah, there's like this energy, it's like a big smile. It happens like deep in my heart. Like a relaxing, kind of a just space.
Thank you.
So what was the question, please?
When you hear about these acts of kindness or share, is there anything that opens up or happens in your body? Yes?
For me, I feel like this deep well of holding up. Unbelievable.
We need that. Yes.
It gives me hope for the world.
Yeah.
My heart expands.
Yeah. I mean, and this is so possible. So today is a really important day for me because after 3.5 years of research, at this very moment, I am unveiling the 2018 inaugural National Kindness Symposium. It's April 20th through the 22nd, 2018, here in San Francisco. And the purpose of this symposium is to create the action plan for a kinder world. The invite list includes the 70 leaders and then a youth and a college kindness ambassador from every state in our nation. And it's going to be an experience in synergy. So just talking about the 70 leaders, what's possible when 70 leaders whose sole mission every day when they wake up is to bring more kindness to the world, what's possible when they come together? Certainly something is, and I'm really curious to find out. The Facebook reach of these 70 organizations is 18 million people. So with a unified initiative and a unified voice, we're actually going to get a lot of information out there. One of the things we're going to be talking about is what's working, what's replicable. You know, Tom Tate, he named his city a city of kindness. He stamped it. Well, why couldn't we say every city that rallies 1 million of their youth to do an act of kindness is a city of kindness? Dina Krager from Choose to Be Nice has a pledge where you make the effort to choose to be nice. Well, every school who gets 1 million kids to do an act of kindness, boom, they're a kindness school. So that's one of the things we'll be talking about. The other is the invitees are informing the curriculum. So with each leader that I invite, I say to them, what would you want to do there? Is there something you'd want to talk about? You know, we're going to have a 7 and 8-year-old innocent and brilliant panel that are going to be talking about answering questions about the needs. There's going to be an 80 and 90 wisdom panel. So what do we want to explore more? So, for example, Kelsey, who's the communications director from Random Acts of Kindness, as Brooke mentioned, what she wants to focus on is, she thinks, you know, the school curriculums, that's getting really strong, but let's talk about businesses. How can we even put curriculum there? Many of the leaders say they want to awaken people to the possibility of the world that they imagine, which I love. Paul Hawkins says, people change when you show them a more beautiful truth that they can move to. So I imagine a world where living a life of kindness is valued as one of life's greatest achievements. So what would change if we woke up in the morning and we said, I wonder what opportunities the universe is going to provide for me today that I can be kind. So we're looking for those as opposed to just waiting for them to happen. If we slow down, we get a sense of our humanity. So I think one of the places that's the easiest perhaps is in the coffee line. So rather, and I call it softening the silo. So rather than just being in our own, you look in front of you at the person in front of you, and you look at the person behind you, and we are part of humanity. And once we slow down and we actually have a sense of ourselves as human beings, we're more apt to notice ways that we can be kind and want to be kind. So the symposium is a year away, although I'm declaring that this unified movement started a few minutes ago when I announced it. So, and what we're standing for is that kindness is a top value in our schools, in our communities, in our government, in our lives. So if this is something that you are a yes to, then I ask you to think about what you could do. How might you want to get involved? We need your voice. If you have any ideas how you might want to participate, maybe you know someone in business or a philanthropist that might want to sponsor the Kindness Symposium. If there's anything that you'd like to communicate with me, my business cards are outside this door and I would love to hear from you. Maybe you have connections to a school that you might be able to bring a kindness project or a curriculum to. Again, there's 20 of them right on our website. They can pick and choose. Maybe you would like kindness to be a more consistent part of your life and you want to become an ambassador. Maybe this talk has struck a chord and you're curious to participate, but you have no idea yet how that might look. All that is great. The forest starts with the seeds. In closing, we get to choose how we want to be in this world. I used to say, I want a kinder world. I wish the world was kinder. And then I realized I do an act of kindness, the world is a kinder place. We actually have that power. So outside the doors are blank pledge cards, just like this. And I invite you to think of an act of kindness and to pledge an act of kindness. There's ribbons and a stapler and staple them. And when you do that act of kindness, I want to thank you because you've just made the world a kinder place. Thank you.